Yo, what's poppin', people? Called Star Green, back with you another video. Your first time following our channel, you love movie reviews, ending explain, stuff like that. You guys make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Also, like the video, we do have a spoiler review and it'll be out soon. But this one just like a regular, you know what I'm saying, just movie review. Now, first thing I'm going to say is talk about the plot of the film. What the plot of the film is...
Basically, Shang-Chi and the Mandarin have some issues to resolve regarding their family. So the Mandarin contacts them and,
goes from there without any spoilers.
They got some issues to resolve.
Yeah, we can't go anymore.
They got some things to do.
If we say anymore, we're going into spoilers. So, pretty much first thing I'm going to say, I'm going to give a big rest in peace, man. Because this dude did a phenomenal job on this film. His name is Brad Allen. He passed away at the age of 48. He was a stunt coordinator on Shang-Chi. And I think, personally, he did a phenomenal job. This is one of the best action stunt choreographed things I've seen in the MCU so far. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, definitely the best fight choreograph in the MCU, for sure. I can think of battles that I like more given that there's certain characters and certain conflicts, but like technical, like fight choreograph, it's easily top one. Yeah. It's so well done. The action in this is intense. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to tell what's CGI and what's not, like actual well done fight choreograph. So that's a testament to the skill.
Now, next I'm going to talk about the director of the film. And the director of the film, his name is Dustin Daniel Crenton, I believe that's his name. So he has directed Just Mercy, The Glass Castle, Short Term 12, I'm Not a Hipster. I think the biggest film he's possibly done was Just Mercy, aside from this. And I would say, as watching Just Mercy, I love that film. I know I watched it super late, right? The movie with Michael B. Jordan in it, and just to see how much of a step up that was from what we see in this movie, Dustin, great job. Oh my God, like your direction in this film was amazing. I will have to say, there's a couple of things that bothered me, but we'll go into what bothered me towards the end of the review. But let's talk about a couple of things that I liked. Let's say I think his sister, man. His sister, what's her name? I don't want to be disrespectful and say her name completely wrong. So let's just say Shang-Chi's sister. She is a badass, I would say. She, especially with that goddamn what you call it? Like,
I don't know what
it's called, but she be kicking ass with that little thing. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, she's amazing in the film. Let's talk about the main character real quick. Shang-Chi, how was he? For his debut in the MCU.
Shang-Chi has a lot of personality.
Yes,
very likable. He bounces off of Katie very well.
Yes,
which is played
we'll
by
talk about Katie in
Awkwafina.
just a second. But go ahead.
Well, hold on, Katie. But yeah, he delivers jokes really well throughout the film. He is really intense and emotional. He can deliver an emotional scene very well. He's just like, it feels believable when he's doing the fight choreograph too. He's really got that nailed down. I think his name is Simu Liu. I think that's his actor's name. Does a fantastic job.
And I can't wait to see him in future stuff too.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped.
But what's crazy is that he's like, especially like those first like 10 minutes you beat him in the film, he's super relatable. You know what I'm saying? He's not off doing something that's like, oh man, you can't be doing that. He's like doing some random basic stuff. He's a valet, he's nothing. I'm like, you can actually relate to this guy, So that's what I liked about him.
That's kind of what I like about certain heroes.
You can relate to him.
Like Spider-Man's the normal kid. Ant-Man was, he was in jail for a bit because he was a thief, but now he's working at Baskin Robbins, and then like Simu Liu, you see him doing valet. It's kind of cool to see like these ordinary jobs done by like people who have such skills, and then they get picked up and go on this wild adventure, even if they were born and raised in a very superhero born-esque kind of thing.
Think about Robert Downey Jr. His dad was a freaking millionaire. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to relate to. It's kind of hard to relate to something like that.
True. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about Katie real quick. Let's talk about, because I got my blowbacks on Katie, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
go ahead.
You go ahead first.
I feel like Aquafina is someone that like I've seen her in only one other thing that like I thought was a really amazing performance, and it was more of an emotional drama. She has that talent, and she delivered some of that talent in this. But what she's mostly known for, which is like jokes, and it's just like sometimes it hits and lands for a film like this, especially. I feel like it lands more than it misses. But when it misses, it really misses, and you can kind of feel it.
That was my biggest problem with her. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, yo, 90% of these jokes are not hitting at all.
As someone who generally doesn't like her, like performance, her jokes, especially in other stuff, I thought this is probably the best thing she's done besides, in terms of performance at least.
Okay, that's interesting.
Besides the emotional drama.
Because as I might have seen her in something else, but I might have forgot. But just seeing her in this film, I'm just like, man, I don't believe it's her fault, you know?
Well, I think I liked her more because she bounced off so well with Sean.
She bounced off on him, yeah.
I think like their relationship is so like cute. Like it's a nice little friendship. I like it. So it feels real.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, man, I understand like Marvel movies, they gonna throw a lot of jokes in there, but I'm like, her jokes ain't landing, man. I'm like, come on now, and they just keep it going. It keep it going. It's like they keep it going until you gotta laugh at one of them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Some of them were like, I feel like you could do better.
Think about it. We were at a screening, right? An early screening, right?
Yeah.
And this is when like a bunch of people in there super hyped up for the film. Every time she threw out a joke, wasn't nobody laughing. Like, and
there might have been a moment or two.
There's a couple. There's a couple of jokes that hit, you know, that really worked in really well. But most of them jokes she threw out, ain't nobody was sitting there laughing at them jokes.
Weirdly enough, I think she worked better when it was them just doing ordinary things, you know? Once she got in the midst of the action, I feel like that's when like it kind of didn't work the most for me, because it felt like, yeah, she's an ordinary person, she's commenting on like crazy things going on, but like I don't know, I feel like I've seen that shtick done better in other things. It wasn't horrible, but it was just not as passable.
I'll say this though, her growth in the film though, like what you see, like how she starts out with Sean, and then she just keeps going to this other point. I won't spoil it. I know there's merchandise out that pretty much spoils what she ends up becoming later in the film. But once she gets to that point, I'm like, okay, this works, right? Like, I'm like, her growth, I liked her growth. It's just that, like, goddamn, y'all could calm down with the little jokes she's throwing out there.
I do kind of want to see where she goes a little bit further.
Yeah, I want to see what they do with her. Yeah. But like I said, like, how her character ended, I like that. I did like how her character ended.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're going to talk about those first two acts. They were phenomenal.
I think my favorite act of the whole movie is probably 2.
Second act? Okay.
But I think my favorite fight sequence, besides some of the Mandarin stuff, was the bus.
Yeah.
The bus and the music playing.
Oh man, that bus scene, because it's like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's like, yo.
It's intense.
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like the most hero moments too.
Yes.
I just, ooh. So good.
I love the best. I love the
it
bus
felt
scene.
It felt very creative too on how like especially how they handle this.
Yeah, especially how they like use the bus. You know, they're like you know that little middle part in the bus and how they use that. Yeah. I was like, yo, this is so dope. But yeah, that bus scene was one of my favorites. And I think even the scene where they were they in Tokyo or where were they at? I think they were in China or something like that. But
I'm trying to remember.
It doesn't really matter. When they're like in the I don't want to spoil anything, but they're like, there's this big fight scene where
tournament. The tournament stuff was cool.
They're at the tournament spot. I thought that was also a cool moment too.
There's a lot to be desired from the tournament stuff, though, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna spoil anything. Yeah, but like, there's something that's very clickbaity.
There's a couple things that I was like, I wanted a little bit more. Yeah, like I didn't need a whole lot.
No spoilers,
just a little bit more of certain things. 2 things from it, but I'm not gonna go into detail.
While we're saying that, he was in the trailer. Abomination. I loved him though.
Abomination is so tight. I loved him, and seeing Wong there fight Abomination was crazy to me.
Even like the design of Abomination, like they show like how he aged. You know how he looks different than he does in an Incredible Hulk. Now I did not like how they portrayed his character, but
I didn't hate it, but I was kind of like left with questions.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, why
where's this going to go in the future, and why this and that?
Yeah,
so
but
we'll
I liked his character. I even liked Wong in the film. You know,
oh yeah,
Wong getting some redemption after Infinity War because who knows where the hell he went after Infinity War. So he's finally getting redemption. And you
Sanctum must be protected.
Yeah, and like even in this one, I really enjoyed Wong's presence in this film.
Yeah, I like.
Let's talk about it, man. The third act, man, because everybody's gonna be on mixed emotions on this third act.
I feel like the third act is the best third act of most MCU movies, but it is still kind of like doing those cliches and like kind of throwing out like stuff that I'm like, man, you got too much shit on screen. You know what I mean? Like too much things going on. So I'm conflicted because there's some really great action in the midst of that chaos.
Yeah.
And the Mandarin versus, Shang-Chi is still an amazing fight sequence and good emotional parts. But it's just like, it feels so, I don't know.
It feels like there's too much going on.
Too much for me, where it's like,
there's too much going on.
I just wish there was a little, and then it got a little goofy at a certain point. They even make fun of it later on, and I'm like, I get where you're going, but I don't know.
Okay, y'all, like no spoilers, but like the third act turns into Godzilla, like pretty much, without giving away anything.
Sorta, yeah,
turns into Godzilla.
Like that, yeah.
So yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like it had a really good build up. First two acts, really good build up, but then that third act, there's just a lot going on in that third act, man. Now let's talk about some other actors. The Mandalorian. How did you feel about his presence in the film? How do you like him?
The Mandalorian.
The Mandarin. God damn it! I'm thinking about Star Wars.
The Mandalorian.
I'm thinking about Star Wars.
The Mandarin is top 4. Actually, top. Now that I think about it, top 3 MCU.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Hold on.
So it would go Thanos, Killmonger, Mandarin for me.
Okay, that works.
I feel
how do you like his character?
Oh yeah, like so. I love. That's another thing I like about this movie is I love the fact that most MCU movies, it's either the hero is the stealer of the show or the villain's the stealer of the show. Like, for instance, Iron Man is clearly the stealer of the show. It's his movie. But in like a movie like Black Panther, I always felt like Killmonger was like what really attracted me to the movie the most. This movie, Shang-Chi and the Mandarin balance each other out.
Yes, they do. Yes.
Father-son dynamic is so
real.
special and real.
Yes.
And it feels like very hard to watch at times. Like, man, that's your kid. And he's got a really compelling motivation, a really tragic story.
That's the one thing I always gotta praise Marvel about. They always have you see the villain side. You know what I'm saying? Not only did they have us see his side, they like actually saw what they made us feel what he's going through. You know,
Definitely.
He's like, look, I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is actually going on.
Definitely,
you know?
And I don't know, like that performance is so good.
He did so good in the film.
When I think of the Mandarin, I'm like, man, like I think of a badass person like him. And then like the 10 rings, how you utilize the 10 rings was so great. Like he feels threatening. Yes. He feels like he wouldn't fuck around. Like I was saying to somebody, I was like, you know what? If Iron Man had ever fought the Mandarin would. Sorry, I just cussed, but yeah.
Because about 4 times already.
We could blanket him out. Yeah, sorry, but no, he would knock him out.
Yeah, the Mandarin, like, oh my god, and especially like I gotta tell you the motivation that they show us in the film, and that's why I always say Marvel does such a great job at doing that. You know, there's some other films. I'm not gonna lie, DC, man. DC, we never get the villain's motivation. It's like, it just feels like in DC films, just like the dude wants to take over the world, you know. But why does he want to take over the world? They don't really get down to that. And in these films like this, you get to understand, okay, this is what he's going through. This is why he wants to do a certain thing. It's all for love, but you understand why he wants to do this certain stuff. Now, go ahead.
And when you're watching too, it's like technically his motivation from his point of view is not really to harm anyone.
No,
at first,
not. Yeah,
but it's like if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
But like his motivation isn't. The intent is not to harm anyone. But unknowingly so, he's going to be doing it.
There's sometimes where he's like, "Yo, move! Like I don't want to hurt you, bro.
Like,
just move out the way."
Yeah, like, you know so, like it's kind of compelling in that sense too, where it's like, you know, he's not really. He just wants this goal, but it's like, dude, like this is not it.
Yeah. Next thing I want to talk about, man, the special effects in this. Oh my god! Especially when they were using those goddamn rings. Oh, like I want to see them use the rings more. Like I'm gonna be honest.
I love those rings. I love them.
Especially how they use them. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I think for the visuals, how they use the rings and stuff like that in the film, that's worth going to see in the IMAX alone. Just how they use the rings.
I'm really hyped to see him use those rings
in
more
a future
movies, in Avengers
yeah.
movies. It doesn't matter. Like it's gonna be cool to see combos. I don't care. It's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah, those rings are something else. Now I wanna
one of them spoiler related. It has to do with the Mandarin, so I can't say specifically. But there's a story thing that I'm like. Why?
Yeah, without giving it away, what is it?
Why?
Without giving
it's
it
just
away.
a question of why.
Oh, okay. I
think you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we can't spoil it.
But there's pacing issues. I feel like at times
Okay,
where
go
it's
ahead.
like
go into your pacing issues.
Maybe it's just me, and it kind of bugs me after a while when I watch so many movies, and I'm like I can notice these things, but it's like I don't like the editing of like backstory then present day. Backstory, present day.
Yeah,
backstory,
I get what you're saying.
Like when it keeps on going back, and sometimes it works. In this movie, at times it didn't work, and I was like, "Can you just move the actual present day story? You should have told me this backstory a little bit further back. I feel like that would have worked better."
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like what they do in the backstory. It's relevant for what's going on. It's relevant for what's going on in that scene. So
it's relevant.
It makes sense.
It's just a pacing thing for me. It's just like a personal preference, I think.
Now,
where I'm like,
I'm not gonna lie. The what you call it? The flashback scenes work way better than they do in Fast 9, though. I will say that. I think they work better.
Maybe this is a hot take. I wasn't even that big on Fast 9, but I think they did it better a little bit. A little bit.
I don't know.
A little bit.
It gave so much,
not that much.
It gave so much backstory though in this one. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It gave so much relevancy. You know?
Yeah. No. Like, definitely, this movie's better than Fast 9 for me. Yeah. But like, I think, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just me. I was just engrossed in those backstory. Weirdly enough, I'm that weirdo that wants a prequel of Fast and Furious movies. Because I just want the street racing stuff back. Anyway, point is, it's just weird. Sometimes some of that pacing just didn't quite.
I get what you're saying there. That pacing had a little bit of pacing issues.
Yeah.
So without like going into too much, let's give our final thoughts on the film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, I don't know how y'all want to put this. This is not my favorite Marvel project. My favorite Marvel project is still Captain America: Winter Soldier. Then it's Infinity War, and I think it might be Thor Ragnarok. But this probably is in my top 5. Now, with saying that, I believe I'm gonna say this. This is my favorite solo project. You know, my favorite origin story project that Marvel has done. I'll say that. It's my favorite origin.
Are we counting Guardians of the Galaxy as origin movies?
We would have to.
Okay.
So you put it
Guardians
below that?
of the Galaxy is one of my favorite origin ones. I don't know about my favorite, but probably one of my favorite ones from the MCU.
But I think I would have to say I think I like this one a little bit more than the first Guardians. But that's just me.
That's fair. I can see people liking this more. I don't really mind it.
I think this one's more,
especially since the villain's better. And yeah. I think I just like Guardians' tone a little bit. Yeah. It feels. Yeah. This is not top 5 for me. This is definitely top 2 origins. I think for MCU, maybe top 3 because I have to think about the fact that Iron Man's there. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like this one better than Iron Man though. I would say that I like this one better than Iron Man.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that, but like I just have to think about it before I make my final statements on that. But it's not top 5, but it's definitely top 10. It's definitely somewhere in that 7 to 8 range, I think. It's so good though. I can't find too many things where I'm like, man, like I hated this or I hated that. Like even stuff that I'm like nitpicky about. Yeah. I'm like, that moment could have been better. Blah blah blah. Like I can't like genuinely think of anything that made me mad or anything. Like I really enjoyed my experience.
I really enjoyed this film. So
like even Aquafina, somehow I'm like, usually I don't like Aquafina at all, and I was thinking, I was groaning. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like her character, and I like her character. So yeah.
So what's your rating on the film?
I let it settle a little bit. I gave it a 9 out of 10 at first.
Okay.
But if I'm being a little bit more like antsy with it, a little bit more objective, like an 8, I think is fair.
Okay.
But like in terms of my experience with the movie, it's like a 10 out of 10. Yeah, 9 to 10 out of 10. Yeah.
I will say, I'm gonna be a little different than you. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10, man.
Yeah.
The excitement, y'all gotta understand the excitement I had with this film, the special effect. Even man, there's a certain part where you're using like water, and the water is like standing still. Yo,
that was great.
Those were so cool.
That was a great moment. Yeah, the special effects were utilized very well.
Okay, I will say the slow mo, they could have dialed that down just a little bit. There's a couple of parts in the movie where they
compare that to like DC movies where the slow mo is overused. I can't complain.
Okay, well, if we're comparing it to DC, they didn't do that. They didn't do a bad job. But there's some slow mo scenes in here where I'm kind of like, y'all don't need to put this in here. This don't need to be here. But other than that, man. Oh my gosh. I've said this before. The visuals, the stunts, the action, just for that alone, you gotta go see it just for that. Like I said, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Now I will be going to see this again whenever the opening day hits. And I'll probably maybe even give it a 10 out of 10. I don't know.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Out of Phase 4, we're just ranking Phase 4. Where would you put this in Phase 4? Comparing it with the TV shows and stuff like that.
Oh, that's hard.
It is a little bit harder because you're comparing it against TV shows.
Yeah, but I would... Damn, it's going to hurt me to say. I got it over WandaVision. I got it over Falcon and Winter Soldier. I got it over Black Widow.
Okay.
I have it... I don't know about Loki, though, because I just love, like, the Loki, character and what they're doing with Loki so much.
I think, for me, it's Loki, Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
I've grown to like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier more and more. WandaVision, I've grown to hate more and more. Even though I do genuinely like most of it.
Yeah.
And then Black Widow was just kind of mid. It was, it's passable. It's whatever.
I have Loki and then this right below Loki. But the only reason why Loki really got that nod,
it's kind of unfair to compare because it's a little bit longer and stuff like that. But
we got more of the character development with Loki. We got to meet more of his other variants. And how Loki opens up the rest of the universe.
Yeah, so especially for the time length, though, this is very close to Loki for me. Especially considering Loki's action is not good in comparison to this. Not even close. But I focus on the character development stuff.
Yeah, so I would say it's right below. I gave us 9 out of 10. Yeah. Coles gave us 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
we loved it. We're going to see this again in the IMAX again.
Definitely. 100%.
But hey, if it's y'all first time finding our channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, the video. Tell us your guys' thoughts, complaint, criticism, stuff like that down below. If you have seen the film, please let us know your thoughts on it down below. And hey, we'll see you guys in the next one.